Hey Noah, I decided I want to do a video instead of a text or whatever. Um, I'm got your list of questions here on the phone, and then I'm recording the video on the tablet, so you'll see me look over there now and then. Anyway, greatest blessings in marriage. Well, I'm going to come at the answer to these questions, I guess, from a biblical standpoint. Um, why was Eve created? She was created to be his helpmeet. And one of the greatest blessings in marriage for me is your mother basically standing in the gap and patching my shortcomings, if you will. That's not to say that I don't want to make it seem like, well, she's my servant and that really blesses me and that's my greatest blessing. But the fact is, that's why Eve was created. And I couldn't do what I do to the level and how do I put that? To the level that I do it, and as well as I accomplish anything I do. Um, she has given me not only help, but um, great insight into things. There's been times that we go on business meetings together, and I think I've heard A, B, and C, but she tells me, oh no, it was actually G, H, I, and J, and there's these other angles, and just looks at things, from a different perspective. It's like, whenever I think about viewpoints, I think about a football game. Um, I could tell you that the guy ran the ball to the left and got a touchdown. Somebody else could say he ran to the right and got a touchdown. And both people are right, and how they're correct is they're on opposite sides of the field in the stadium. And so I get different insights into not just business things, but lots of things in life. So, um, and I'll be honest, a lot of times I'm resistant to that because I think I'm right. It's a pride thing. But uh, I'm afraid I'm going to come across as, oh, my greatest blessing is that she helps me a lot. Uh, and yet, that is one of the greatest blessings. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that because it's why God created woman in the first place. Um, as far as marriage in general, I can't speak to marriage in general. I can only speak to these issues as far as my marriage. And another way she's a great blessing is I can count on her. And what I mean by that, not just to do this or that for me, but I never worry about your mom's faithfulness. I never worry, is she going to come home? Um, I never worry, she might have a differing opinion about a decision we're considering than what I have, but I never worry that once I've made that decision, that she'll support it and be on board. And that's a hard thing to do, um, but she does it. She loves me. She takes care of me. Um, of course, gave me children, bore the children, raised the children. Um, when when we learned about you in the womb, we made the decision. Then and there, we want a mom to be home with the kids. And your mom was a career woman at that time. She worked for Quest Communications, which is now CenturyLink, and at that time she made more money than I did. And she could have continued in that. A lot of women today would have continued in their career. They would have, at 6 weeks old, they would have dumped the kid off at daycare, and especially with the mother making more money, there might have been some couples who would have made the decision where, well, dad can stay home. Um, but no, she took her role as a mother very seriously. So she's a great blessing all the way around. Greatest challenges? Communication is number one. Really, it is. You think you're saying, and this is both of us, you think you're saying this, but it's being received as this, if you will, sideways, upside down, or whatever. And that's true of any two people, regardless of their relationship. But it's just especially true inside of a marriage relationship. Another of the greatest challenges is overcoming my own selfishness. Um, there's a reason, that the Bible says more than once, husband, love your wives, and wives, submit, because those two things, for a husband to love a wife is against his nature. And I'm not talking about the warm, fuzzy feelings towards her or the physical attraction or whatever. I'm talking about, husbands love your wives is a action command. I'm supposed to love her. I'm supposed to provide for her, care for her, put her needs above my own, put her wants above my own. That one's really, for me, one of the hardest things. Overcoming my own selfishness. I mean, look at all the guns I have, and telescopes, and drones, and everything else. And um, I'm a selfish person, and that's been the hardest for me to overcome. That and communication. So those, there's several challenges, but those are the two biggest for me. What are some of the most important lessons you have learned regarding marriage? Wow. There's so many. Um, Men and women are truly different, for one thing. I was raised a Christian, and then I was out of it for a lot of years. And in those years, apart from some physical differences, I really didn't think men and women were that different. And I've learned otherwise. So, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, that seems like kind of an obvious thing to say, but um, it also has shaped my worldview. You know, the secular John would have thought all the women's rights things were good and all that, and I'm not saying that women shouldn't have rights, but not at all. But I don't know. Men and women are different. Why are we different? Because we were made different. God made us to fill different roles, and we are most fulfilled when we fulfill the roles that God gave us. So, um, one of the most important lessons I've learned is when I strive to make her happy, everything clicks better. And I'm not talking about because she's so self-centered and I got to make her happy. If mom ain't happy, nobody. I'm not talking about that. But rather, if I'm striving to make her happy, I'm loving her. And if she's striving to make me happy, we fulfill one another. It's both of us. And another thing I've learned is it's not my job to love her if she's submitting. No, it's my job to love her. Period. It's her job to submit. If he's loving me, no, it's your job to submit. Period. And so many people, I've never been a wedding or a marriage counselor or anything, but I've heard it preached that so many people go into marriage counseling and all they do is pick. He does this, he does that, and they go in seeking to change one another rather than change themselves. And so you've got to, all of us, men and women alike, we have this tendency to be self-centered, which is just pride. Pride is at the root of that. And marriage is taking the focus inward and turning it outward. Good marriage is towards the other person And then when you're both doing that, you're both happy. I don't know. It's kind of a simplistic way to say it, I guess, but I hope that helps you. And I hope you do well on the subject. And I hope Mom doesn't club me over the head for what I've said in the video. Love you.